In this video, we'll configure the header of our website. The header consists of two components, our logo on the left and the main navigation menu on the right. We don't need to do anything with the logo because we've already configured it. If you remember, we also specified zeros in top, right, bottom and left fields for the site identity space option. You'd be feeling that the logo must have some space at its top and bottom. We'll handle this when we configure our main menu in this video. Let's get started. In the theme customizer, we'll open up header options and click on primary header. If you notice, there is a thin border at the bottom of our header. Let me make it more prominent by setting its color to red. Let's publish it and refresh the front end. There you see, we obviously do not want it to be red. I'll put in this shade of grey. Let's scroll down to the bottom and configure the header space option. For desktops, I'll have 0 pixels for top and bottom because I'll handle this spacing when I configure the main menu. And let's have 20 pixels for right and left. For tablets and mobiles, I'll have 15 pixels for top and bottom and 20 pixels for right and left. Keep an eye on the real-time preview on the right as you make changes. There are some more options like mobile header layout, background color of the header, and so on. Such options are self-explanatory and I won't be discussing these. Experiment with them and see what effect they have on the look and feel of your header. Consider this as your assignment. Let's now take a look at the primary menu options. If you notice, we want to have a button to the right of the menu. We did not include the one-to-one clarity session page when we configured our main navigation menu. Let me show that again to you. See, we only have home, about, curriculum, blog and contact in the menu. We'll include a button for the one-to-one clarity session in the menu using Astra's settings. For the last item in menu option, let's select button. We don't want to hide this button on mobiles, so we'll uncheck this box. You'll be shown another option to choose whether you want the button inside or outside the mobile menu. I want this button to be displayed as a normal menu item on mobiles, so I'll keep this unchecked. Then, we'll put whatever text we want on the button. I'll put in one-to-one clarity session. And also put in the URL of the clarity session page, which I'll copy from here. Let's scroll down and configure the mobile menu. I'll put in 1200 for mobile breakpoint. This means that when the size of the browser window is 1200 pixels or less, users will be shown the mobile menu instead of the regular menu. Let me publish this and show you how that looks. I'll open Chrome DevTools and open the device toolbar. I'll select responsive in this drop-down list. Let me zoom this to 100% so that we can see it clearly. If the viewport width is 1200 pixels, you'll see that our menu transforms into the mobile menu. This will be the same for any width lesser than 1200 pixels. If the viewport width is larger than 1200 pixels, you'll see that the normal desktop menu appears. So this is what the menu breakpoint does. Let's have menu as the label. And select outline as the toggle button style. I'll have this as the button color. And also have 0 for border radius because I don't want the button to have rounded corners. We'll now adjust the colors of the menu. Our menu items have 3 states: normal, hover, and active. The normal state is how your menu items look like normally. Hover state is when you hover your mouse over a link. Active state is the state of the link when you are actually on that particular page. So imagine you're on About page. On that particular page, the state of the About link in the menu is the active state. We need to set the colors for all these 3 states and for all 3 screen sizes: desktops, tablets, and mobiles. On desktops, I want these colors for the 3 states. On tablets and mobiles, I'll have the same colors but also have a background. Let me quickly put in these colors and then I'll show you how it all looks. We won't be having a drop-down menu on this website, so we'll not touch the submenu options. But it is very easy to set those styles and it works exactly the same way we adjusted the menu settings. Let's publish the changes and refresh the front end. Looks amazing, isn't it? We need to tweak some more settings. Under typography, I'll have a font size of 17 pixels on desktops and tablets, and 16 pixels on mobiles. The font weight I want is 700. The last thing I want to adjust is the spacing around menu items. On desktops, I'll have 30 pixels for top and bottom and 20 pixels for right and left. On tablets and mobiles, I'll have 0 for top and bottom and 20 pixels for right and left. Now, the reason I have specified 30 pixels for top and bottom spacing on desktops is that I want to have that extra spacing above and below the logo. Let's publish the changes and then refresh the front end. Well, I'm sure you noticed something. This header bar is too tall and the spacing above and below the menu items certainly looks to be more than 30 pixels. There are a few other problems with this menu as well. If I resize the browser window and decrease its width, you will notice that the menu toggle button just sticks to the top and bottom edges of the header container. However, if I reduce the width further, there is some space on the top as well as below the menu toggle button. If I expand the menu in tablet view, you'll see this huge spacing above and below the menu items. This does not look good and we need to fix it. First of all, we need to understand why this is happening. Well, Astra applies some default CSS styles to various elements, and the way we have configured our menu is not playing well with those styles. In order to fix this, we need to apply some custom CSS styles to our menu. Don't worry if you are not familiar with CSS styling, we'll cover it in detail in bonus videos. For now, just follow the steps that I show and you should be good to go. I'll open FileZilla and navigate to our theme directory. I'll then download style.css file to my desktop. Let's open it in a text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code to open this file. I'll copy and paste some styles into this file. I'll also make these available to you along with this video. So these are the styles that will fix our navigation menu. Again, you need not worry at all if none of this makes any sense to you. We'll cover CSS in detail in bonus videos. For now, just copy and paste these styles into your style.css file. Save the file and upload it back to the server. Let's refresh our page now to see if everything is good. Nope, this is because the browser is still loading the old version of the CSS file from its cache. EasyWP offers an easy way to clear the cache. Let's click on Clear Cache. I'll now hold down my Shift key on the keyboard and hit the reload button on the browser. What this will do is force the browser to bypass the cache and re-download the complete, up-to-date content of the web page, including the CSS. There you have it. Our menu looks clean. The spacing issue has been fixed. If you resize the browser window now, you'll see we now have this space above and below the menu toggle button, which wasn't there earlier. If you expand the menu, you'll see the menu items look great and there is no excess spacing above and below them. Perfect. There's actually an alternate way of specifying custom CSS for your website using the site settings in Elementor. Let's edit default kit template with Elementor. You'll notice there is a custom CSS option and you can add your CSS in this text box. To be honest, I don't like this way. I like editing the style.css file in a text editor and then uploading it to the server using FileZilla. Using a text editor makes it easy to edit custom styles as compared to using the site settings option. You can do it either way, it is just a matter of personal preference. The last thing I want to do is edit the look of the button. I'm not satisfied with how it looks. We applied some global settings to buttons earlier, let's modify them a bit. I'll go to global and then buttons. Inside button text, I'll remove this line height of 1 and have our buttons inherit line height from the base typography settings. The other thing I want to do is remove the border radius because I don't want rounded corners on my buttons. Let's publish and refresh our page. The button looks much better, and if you compare our header with that of the website we are building, you'll notice they are identical. The only thing remaining is this bar at the top, which we'll do in later videos, except that our header is perfect and we are ready to move on.